Hey guys, I hope you don't mind some kind of music playing in the background. I just always have to have music around me. Like, it feels weird not to have any type of music when I'm cooking, when I'm showering, or anything. Even when I'm just around the house, there's always music. So I hope you guys don't mind. Okay, have like bullet points of what I want to talk about and stuff. That way I don't forget anything. So, this is basically like, I'm sorry if I say like a lot because I'm just gonna warn y'all. I think I do say it a lot. I'm gonna try my hardest not to. Okay. So, obviously, you guys know me as China Gerona. That is actually my name, but my actual full name is, well, China Gerona is like a stage name that people know me as in the Philippines, and I have songs in the Philippines named after China Gerona as an artist. I originally wanted China Kinski, which is basically my first name and my second name put together. But they said that it sounded too foreign, and a lot of Filipinos might get confused. Since Gerona is like a Spanish last name, which is which is literally common in the Philippines, we chose China Gerona. And Gerona is a pretty known last name in the Philippines, so we chose that name. I was actually raised in Texas, Houston, Texas, but also I would say I grew up mainly in the States. I grew up here in Houston, Texas, but a part of my life I grew up in the Philippines. Not a lot of people know that I speak, read, I'm fluent in Tagalog, but I'm pretty fluent. I can speak, read very slow though. I don't read that well. I read pretty freaking slow. I thought I was good until I lived there, and I was like, shit, I don't really think I can read it as good as someone who's lived there, but I could read, I can get by, which is really good. When we moved to Texas, a lot of people obviously assume, oh, okay, so you've always been in the Texas, you've always been in Houston, so they automatically assume, oh, you don't speak Tagalog. But one story that I would really want to tell you guys, and I really wanted to share with y'all, was one of the main reasons why my mom never really talked to us, or mainly she literally talked to us in Tagalog every single time she's mad. And it's so funny because every time that she's mad and we would talk back in English or say something back in English, she would be really upset, and she would be like, oh, you think because you live here that you don't know how to speak Tagalog and you're gonna answer back to me in Tagalog? Or there's this saying, I think I'll just say it in Filipino to some of y'all that do understand Tagalog. She'll say something like, oh, palibasa, ano ka na? Nandito ka na nakatira? Amerikana ka na? Matangos na ilong mo? Parang ganun. Parang she says stuff like that. So, it really got to me. So part of me has always been like, you know what? I can't forget Tagalog. I have to speak it. And I'm really thankful that my mom did that for us, because I don't know, it's just great to be bilingual. And every time I visit the Philippines, it's such a great thing that you could speak the language, and if someone wants to talk about me, I can clearly understand if they're talking smack. How was my childhood? Okay, so basically, like I said, I grew up in the Philippines as well. My childhood was pretty amazing, I would say. We went to a private school. I went to St. Paul in the Philippines. My parents basically made sure that we were in like extracurricular activities. Like I was singing all the time. My sister, she's always been like in sports and this and that. So, and then also at some point I did some cheering in the Philippines, cheerleading, whatever. So yeah, and my parents weren't like very strict, but it was mainly like my dad that was strict, I would say. Okay guys, I'm gonna share y'all a story about, if I say y'all a lot, I'm from Texas, so get used to it. Houston, Texas, to be exact. Basically, the story behind my name, I've gotten a lot of questions about that. Like, where did you get the name China? Okay, so basically my mom, she was a script writer in the Philippines. The whole entire time that she was pregnant with me and I was in her belly, she was making this movie. And then this movie that she wrote basically had only one leading lady, which is, I can't remember her name. I believe she's my godmother, but I feel so bad. She's my godmom, but I know it's something Barreto. I'm gonna ask my mom for her full name, but basically she's an actress in the Philippines, and in the movie my mom named her in the movie China because the director, one of the directors basically told my mom, I need you to come up with a name that sounds really sweet even if you're mad. So my mom was like, thought of like other names, and then one time she just woke up and was like, China, 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 China. So she thought of China for the girl in the movie, and it was very unique. So that was the main reason why my mom named me China. And my mom told the director that the minute that she gives birth to me, she's gonna name me China after the movie. And basically the last day of the last day that they were shooting the movie, my mom was actually already having contractions that she didn't even know about, which is crazy. I find it crazy because by the time she got to the hospital, she said she was already like 6 or 7 centimeters dilated. When she got done shooting the movie, that was when my mom had given birth to me, like literally probably a few hours after, and that was my name. I was named after the movie. So just so you guys know, I was named after the movie my mom created. But you know, at some point in our life, everything changed because we moved back into the States. So I was in the Philippines, and then we went to the States. So basically, my sister was a figure skater. One of the reasons why we came here, she was a national champion in figure skating. So she had to train over here, and she was supposed to go to like nationals over here and basically just train and, you know, focus on ice skating. But things didn't really work out. Everything changed. My parents got divorced. I would say when I was about 10, 11 years old. So a huge part of me with them getting divorced was pretty much really like scared You know what? I can't focus with this all. Hold on. Okay, Google, turn it off. Okay. So basically, yeah, I was scared of marriage growing up because I saw my parents like really, I mean, yeah, there were times where like they fought a lot, but I never really like thought that they wouldn't be together. Like I always thought that they would be okay until we moved to Texas. So basically, moving to Texas literally like changed everything. You know, our lifestyle, our everything, honestly. A lot changed. Our lifestyle, my mom's career. Mm, mm. I don't really like to talk about it much just because it was like a really sensitive subject when I was young. But I would like to open up about it just because, you know, I want you guys to get to know me better. Uh, that was really tough for me at some point, knowing that my parents weren't going to be together anymore. It took some time to like fully accept it. I guess that's why you can say that I was like pretty much really like terrified of having kids and getting married. Um, for some of you guys that might know, and for some of you guys that don't know, so basically, my dad was famous in the Philippines, I would say around the 80s. 80s was his prime time, but he was already famous around late 70s. But 80s is like his prime time. But you know, just like any other business, sometimes it could go down. His career started going down when he had met my mom. Um, my mom and my dad had met in the Philippines because my mom was also in the show business. She was a script writer. She was also an executive producer for some shows in the Philippines. And my dad obviously was a singer, actor, comedian, rapper, first rapper of the Philippines. So yeah, they were both in the same industry. But you know, at some point, my dad's career started slowing down. So my mom had to step up, and she was the breadwinner of our family. And my mom has always been like a really hardworking woman, and she's always been independent. So growing up in the States, she was technically a single mom raising both me and my sister. In the Philippines, she was like number one in real estate. There was this company in the Philippines called Phil Estate, but the economy went down at some point and everything started going down as well. I think around 2000, 2001. So, you know, that's one of the reasons too that we moved to the States. And on top of that, my sister was training over here for ice skating. But yeah, so I never really like talk about it. I didn't think that this video was going to be that long, or this topic was going to be, I'm going to be stuck in this topic for a while. But some of the other things that had happened in the Philippines, I'll talk about it later. Probably not in this video, but just, you know, the heavier stuff, like my this is just a simple about me. I don't know why I don't even know why I'm like even getting like emotional or like why I'm making things heavy. I don't want this to be heavy at all because I want you guys to get to know me in a different manner. So later on in life, later on in like my future videos, I'll talk about things that I've been through and this and that. But for now, let's keep it light. Oh yeah, and I have a daughter. Her name is Camille Zara Colette. Camille Zara, she is 1. She just turned 1 this March 20th. And she's my little baby girl. And she's so sweet, smart, and she loves to dance. She loves to sing like mommy too. And I'm sure you guys have seen her in some of my videos, 2 of my videos. But yeah, and I am married. I also have a husband, a hardworking, handsome, sweet husband, who is upstairs taking care of Camille right now. We're in quarantine, so we've been in his house for about 2 weeks. So today he was like, I just want to spend time with Camille because even though he's at home, he's still like working. So today he just decided, you know what, honey, you could just record something and I'll take care of Camille upstairs, which I'm like, oh, thank you. And I have 2 dogs. I have 2, well, I don't really consider Dolce a Yorkie. He's a Silk Terrier, and the other one is a Yorkie. I'm sure y'all will see them. They're sleeping right now. I would literally grab them, but they're sleeping so good on my bed, so. We actually own restaurants here in Texas. We own Top Sushi, which is, we actually have 5 locations right now. The first location is in Westheimer. The second location is in Cypress. Third location is in Missouri City. Fourth location is in Richmond. And the 5th location is in Tomball. And Tomball is actually a franchise, and that's one of our first franchise here in Houston. And I also sing, and I produce my own songs, write my own songs. I also dance here and there, act as well. So I actually signed under a distribution contract with Star Music in the Philippines. At some point, I was really focused and stayed in the Philippines for about 2 years. So me and my husband, before we decided to get married, 2 years ago, we basically was in a long distance relationship for about 2 years, almost 3 years, because I was building my career in the Philippines with singing and all of that. I released an album. But unfortunately, I moved back to the States after my dad had passed away with cancer. I would say 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. So, yeah, a part of me, I'll talk about that later, another video. I'll also talk about the whole situation with, you know, grieving. I'll talk about all those things later, not in this video. Like I said, we're gonna keep it light. So basically, me and my husband, we actually met through my sister, who at that time was actually working with my husband. They were both servers at this sushi restaurant that they both worked in. And my sister had introduced me to my husband now. She had brought him to the bar that I was working at. I was working at this bar. I was bartending and waitressing and all of that. So my sister had brought him, and I was like, man, he's cute. And, you know, so we linked up, we hooked up, and, you know, we just clicked really well. My sister said, oh, he's single. So basically my sister was the reason why we're together. She's single, he's single. And at that time we were both like in a pretty, like, I would say, unfortunate relationship that didn't work out. We were both technically like in a really complicated relationship. So we ended up ending those relationship in the past because it was so complicated. We were both hurt, I would say. We were both hurt around the same time, but we met each other. It's so funny because when you come to think about it, people were saying that we were each other's rebound, but honestly, no, we were each other's soulmate, I would say. I know in the beginning, I was literally like talking about how I was scared of love, I was scared of marriage, I was scared of having kids and this and that. And now that I think about it and I look back on it, you should never really give up on love, because I feel like if you did, you're basically giving up on yourself. Okay guys, so I'm gonna be a little bit more candid about me and my husband's love story, because a lot of people have asked me, how did y'all start off? How did you guys have such a stable relationship? I've gotten that question like a lot. We started off, guys, from absolutely nothing. We were young when we met. I was still in my teens when I met Hung, and he was barely turning 21. I was legal. I was like 18. We've been through so much. We were so young, and I can't really imagine going through everything that we've been through with anyone else. Everyone always thinks we've never really like fought in front of people. We've always had that, you know, respect. Of course, obviously, our siblings, our family have seen us fought, but when it comes to like even friends, we don't fight in front of friends. We just have that like common ground and respect towards each other. I don't know, I guess you can say that we're that way because of our past relationships. We just learned to respect each other and treat each other the way we would want to be treated. And that's one thing, to be honest. Like, the main thing is like trust and respect. And I would say if those two are like gone, get the hell out, get the fuck out. Excuse my language, but honestly, like, those two things are like the key to every relationship. Trust, respect. Those are like the two things. Respect meaning you know, don't be a freaking cheater. Don't lay a hand on your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You know, stuff like that. Things like that. Like, honestly, that's like the best advice I could like give anyone, because literally that's what we've both established being together for this long. It was just so crazy to think about how far it's gotten. We would sometimes even be at work like literally all day and night, and our sales would be like $200. And I can't even imagine. Can you imagine opening for a day and making $200? And I would literally, like, whatever tip I made, I would literally keep it I would keep it at home. I would give it to Hung. That way we can keep it for ourselves, or if he needs it, or just whatever emergency money. We would even have like a little envelope with we would literally put $20 every week in that envelope. That way we can go on a trip one day, you know, because we've been busting our ass. Also, it was just so crazy to think about it, and Hung has been one of the toughest, bravest person I know, besides my mom, of course. And he was like just directing everything, and as his girlfriend at that time, the only thing I could do is just get behind him and just support every little thing, every little decision that he needs to be made. You know, I would give my input on what I think and what we should do. And it was just literally one of the scariest / most unforgettable moment of both of our lives. And I honestly, like I said, I know I've said this, I honestly would not see my life going through all of that chaos with anyone else, because Hung was so, of course he had moments where he would get stressed out and this and that, and you know, he would take it out on me, or I would take things out on him, and it was just, we went through so much at that time that I don't think anyone even knew. We like lived at other people's houses because we didn't have our own house yet. We lived with his parents. We lived with my mom. We lived with my sister and my brother-in-law. We almost lived with Hung's best friend. We were thinking about it at some point. Like, people see things, oh, look what they have and this and that, but people don't know. Like, people have no freaking idea what we've been through, except for our families on both sides. Literally, like, you know, and throughout this whole entire journey, like, our family has been so, you know, supportive with everything. When Top One opened, it was mainly family that was working there. It was Hung siblings, my sister, which is my only sister anyways, and basically chefs that up to this day is still working for us. Up to this day, guys. And Top Sushi's been open for a decade. It's just so crazy to think about. And I'm sorry if I like talk so slow. Sometimes when I get in my emotions, when I get really into it, I tend to like talk really slow just because I don't want to say the wrong thing. And also, I really feel what I say, if that makes sense. And yeah, I hope you guys like learned more about us. I hope you guys like this video, and please share, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and I really hope that you guys learned more about me and my family. Love you guys.